Today we start new Gambit series. Belgrade Gambit. After e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6. So for reaching the standard position of the Scotch, we usually play d4. However, if you would like to reach the Belgrade Gambit, you have to start with knight c3. And only after knight f6 to move your pawn forward after d4. So after e takes d4, we have more or less two options. So one is the most playable, is knight takes d4 already. The theory of this line was developed more than 100 years ago, and still no much news in this direction after the black's best reaction, which is bishop b4, after which white is just only getting slightly better position in case of knight takes c6, b takes c6 and bishop d3. However, just after the Second World War, the Yugoslavian chess players were looking at this position and discovered quite interesting opportunity for white to play knight from c3 to d5, which we call today the Belgrade Gambit. So after knight d5, white is just ready to sacrifice the material in order to get very dynamic position thanks to the strong knight on d5. So the move like knight takes e4 we will examine later on, but before I would like to show you a few interesting opportunities, so how not easy to play in this position for black, even just after 5 moves. So the reaction of black in order to stop bishop g5 idea, so to stop the pin and to play a move like h6, just cannot be recommended. The point is that black is just losing the time, and white immediately could play in such a position bishop f4 after d6, knight takes d4, and the position is quite dangerous for black, because in case of knight takes e4, white has quite unpleasant move knight b5, threatening the c7 pawn. If in this position after knight takes d4 black is trying to play knight e5, aiming to send away white's knight or to exchange this knight after c7, c6, this would lead to the great troubles. After bishop takes e5, d takes e5, and now white is just continued developing his pieces by bishop b5 check. So strangely enough, black is in big trouble already here. Let's understand what's the problem. First of all, hardly even we can play c6, because it leads to the immediate knight takes c6, b takes c6, bishop takes c6 check, aiming the rook on a8, bishop d7, and after bishop takes a8, black is losing the material, since queen takes a8 could be met by simple fork knight c7 check. So in order to complete all these lines, we can understand that same knight d7 also would lead to the material loss after bishop takes a8. So it's quite clear that black just cannot accept the sacrifice on c6. It means that after bishop b5 check is necessary